guys, Mindy here. Welcome back to my channel. So today is my birthday, and in our family we do a tradition called birthday dinner. We get to dress up and go out, and whoever's birthday it is gets to pick the place, and nobody else gets to complain or have an opinion. Unfortunately, this year, because of our friend Mr. Coronavirus, we don't get to go anywhere. But I've decided I'm still going to dress up for my birthday today. So I've been stuck at home just like most of you, and I'm tired of not feeling pretty and dressed up and like I have nowhere to go. So I'm going to dress up and pretend I have somewhere to go even though I'm going to stay home today. I've decided I'm going to start with my colored contact lenses. We're going to do green. My eyes are naturally green. These just enhance the green, so that'll be just a little more dramatic green. And I am going to use my Bday palette to create a look today. And it's got blues and greens, beautiful shades. And I'm going to create a beautiful look with these. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet. We're just going to throw on some color until we like it. I've also got my iconic London face palette for finishing up the blush and other stuff. You'll notice I keep the plastic films on my mirrors because I don't use these. I use a regular mirror. So I just think it keeps the dust off of them. Alright guys, thanks for joining me. Glad you're here. This is my journey in self-care, and I'm not very good at doing makeup, so we're just going to kind of go along and I'll end up with what we end up with. I do have hooded eyes, so that means oftentimes I can do really dramatic colors and it doesn't look overly dramatic once everything's lost into the hoods of my eyes. I'm going to start by putting in some colored contact lenses because I like to have my contacts in while I'm doing my makeup because I am so blind without my glasses. I can't actually see my mirror. And I'm already bad at makeup, so doing it blind is probably going to make it a lot worse. So I'm going to pop these in real quick. These are from TDDI, the third eye. I love them. They're prescription colors. These ones happen to be called Bee Green, and they're very much just a light green jewel tone. And I'm not sure if you guys can see that very well. We'll try and... It's not too bold. We're going to pop these in. This is where my mirror comes in handy. You can see the difference is just a little bit brighter green than my natural green. There's not a whole dramatic lot of difference going on here. And once I get these in, I can actually see, which is very helpful. So I rinse them before I put them on the thing. You guys probably can't see that down here on the table, but that's what I was doing here. Okay, so now we have our bright eyes on. My eyes always start watering when I do this, so I just keep a little cloth handy so I can dab the moisture away. With hooded eyes, because the eyes are naturally creased, you'll end up with a crepey eye if you don't put on a primer first. So I actually am going to start with an eye primer. I'm going to use the Thank Me Later here. And we're just going to dab a little of that on. And it doesn't take very much. A little dab will do a whole eye. I mean, that's a tiny little dab. And we're just going to pat it in, covering the entire upper eyelid. And I work it into the corner and the outer corner because I put makeup in those areas. And I work it all the way up to the brow bone. And then I also do a little bit on the under eye because I will usually put a little color below. And then to my other eye. Again, just a tiny little dab is all it takes. And you should always wash your hands before doing makeup, which I wash my hands before I come in to sit down. Work it into the corner, up to the brow bone, across the lid, patting gently. You never want to tug and pull at your eyes because that's how you get wrinkles. Today is my 43rd birthday, so I'm trying to avoid all the wrinkles I can. I'm already old enough without looking old. Don't want to add to that old look. While that is drying, I'm going to take my Bday face primer and I'm going to prime my entire face. That will just make my whole makeup application go much smoother. I haven't done my hair yet. I always do my hair last because inevitably I end up screwing up my hair doing my makeup. So might as well do the makeup first. It's just practical, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Somebody probably has an opinion out there that will tell me. So I'm going to do just enough of the Bday to kind of cover my whole face, and we're going to just kind of pat it in just like before, and I kind of dab it around and then work backward. That way I can work it in a nice smooth light coat kind of. And I have a big nose, so it takes several strokes to cover it. And I always put it on the underside of my chin and down into my neck because I want to blend my makeup out so it doesn't show too much. Once I get a nice even coat, by then my eyes should have had time to dry and we can start our eye makeup look. I am horrible at eyebrows, so I do very minimal eyebrow just because I really don't know how to make them look as natural as these girls do. Some of these girls are experts at eyebrows. I have this little, it's from Hourglass, but it's got a nice, it's called Warm Blonde, and it's got a nice flat pointed tip so that it gets a nice sharp little microblading line. Not sure if the camera will pick that up or not. And I just kind of fill in where my eyebrows are already at because I really don't know how to shape them any different. Like, I bought some cute stencils, thought I'd try stenciling them. Turns out the stencils sit way too high out here to match up with my natural eyebrow. So I'm not able to use them effectively. Maybe if I angled them I might be able to, but so far I haven't had any luck with those. So I just kind of start at the inside and stroke out in short, brief strokes. Nothing too bold. And follow what's already there. Just so that my eyebrows stand out a little bit. And this is Warm Blonde. I use a very light color. I'm fair complected even though I have dark hair. So when I use a dark brow pencil, sometimes it looks too stark against my skin. So we're just kind of working a little bit of color just to kind of pop them out a little bit. Nothing too bold. And I don't taper mine to a sharp point or nothing. I just kind of follow the natural line just so that it doesn't look like I have no eyebrows. The benefit to wearing my glasses is that they cover my eyebrow area. So glasses kind of become a sort of instant makeup. So that's kind of about as much as I do for my brows. It's not super dramatic, not super bold. And then once I get that on there, I just take the spoolie and just kind of make sure all the hairs are facing the right way. They don't have to be like too much. I just want them facing the right way. And so that's my brows as done as they get until I can figure out how to do them nicer. But at least they're in there where you can see them. They don't look invisible. Now my eye primer has had plenty of time to dry, so my makeup is going to go on nice and smooth, hopefully. I'm going to start with actually this very light nude over here, and I'm going to do, because I have hooded eyes, I'm actually going to start by patting that onto the mobile part of my eyelid down here, just to create a kind of soft, bright backdrop. Anything you add light colors to is going to move forward, and anything you add dark colors to is going to move back. So I'm going to use my darker colors more up here to kind of make my eyes look a little less hooded and not so drooped to the sides down here. So we're just going to kind of pat this over. And it makes a nice nude base so all the other color can build on top of it. Add a little more. I like it to create a really nice nude palette to start from, because I find that when I have a nice nude base to start from, it makes it easier to disguise any mistakes that I might make. I also have this, it's a color switch dry powder remover, so it's like a little foam pad. You just swirl your brush on it, kind of pulls any extra color off. You still want to wash your brushes regularly because bacteria builds up in them, but this lets you change colors without muddying up your brushes, which is really helpful. Now I'm going to take this kind of tapered fluffy brush. It's not super large, but it is kind of large, and I'm going to grab the color I want to accent my eyes with today. And I'm going to be wearing that red sweater that's sitting there. So I'm going to actually pop out with this green that's in the middle right here called Goddess, because I like green. And it kind of looks more teal, but it is kind of a true green. Not sure if the colors will show up better if I put them in front of the lights, but I'm going to put a little of that on my brush and then tap my brush just to knock off any loose powder so you don't get a lot of fallout. And then I'm going to start above where my crease is on the outer side and blend inward and kind of add a little bit of dramatic color on this outer upper part of my crease. And this has a nice little bit of shimmer to it, which I really love. I love shimmers. I know they say when you get over 40 you should probably avoid shimmer because it makes you look older, but I love it, so I'm going to use it anyway. Because, you know, you do what you love, no matter what. I think if you love what you do, you're going to be happier with the results. And sometimes I think the fashion tips they give you about what to do and not to do, it's what works for one person may not be what works for everyone. So, you know, do what you love. Make a look you like. So you can see I have a lot of this kind of dramatic color on this outer corner, but then when I look straight at the camera and my hood pops up, you see most of it disappears under the hood. So I can get away with a little bit more drama than some people can, just because I do have such deep hoods. And I'm just going to kind of work this a little bit more so it looks a little more even, because I think the one side looks a little darker. Get it how I like it. I kind of like that. This side needs a little bit more squared off to match the other side. We'll just kind of hop it up there. And when I decide they look even, that's usually a couple strokes, then I'm going to take this round blender brush. It's just a nice rounded little blender brush. Make sure there's no color on it, and I'm going to grab this darker color that's like almost a dark charcoal, and I'm going to apply it right under where I applied the blue, well, the green, and I'm just going to kind of work it at the bottom edge of that, just to kind of add a little more dimension to this outer top of the crease, because it will just make that part a little bit bolder. You can see the difference from one eye to the other right here, where it just kind of lifted the whole eye versus the other eye. And I'll do it on this side. And I don't put a lot of it to where you can actually notice the color a lot. It just creates a shadow, and that's all I'm going for, is a little bit of a shadow effect, just so that it looks like my eyes have more contour to them than they actually do. And I'm going to work it a little bit more around, kind of blending it. Oh man. Because I want to deepen my eyes so that they stand out a little bit. There we go. Alright. So I'm mostly happy with that. Now I'm going to take a bright color and kind of bring the inner corners to life. And do a little bit along this lower lash and this inner corner up into this area where it blends. And I kind of wanted to use a light pale color, so I'm going to use this Rain, which is like a pale silvery. And I'm going to take this fluffy brush. This is not too big, but it's a nice fluff. And I'm just going to put a little bit of that starting at the inner corner. And I'm going to work it up and into the other color. Again, I just tap with my fingers. There's a dozen ways you can tap off the excess. And then I start at the inner corner and work up and out. Just kind of bringing that inner corner up and out. It's not a whole bright color, so it's not going to be super dramatic. I'm going to work it up and in, and I'm going to work it right to the edge of the other color and kind of start to blend them together on that seam. It's going to add a little bit more. You can see the difference from this side to this side where it's added a little bit more brightness to the inner eye, makes my eye appear a little bit wider, brighter. And then I work a little bit of it from the inner corner down because I want to make my eyes look a little taller because it makes them look wider. And it just kind of brings that whole eye and makes it a little bit more standout-ish. Then I'm going to do the other eye. Again, same way, working out and up, out and up. I'm so excited, it's my birthday. I'm so disappointed everything's still closed. I keep hoping that we're going to get to normalcy. I'm sure all of us feel that a little bit. So we're going to work a little bit in the under and into the corner and up and in a little bit on this. Work it along until it blends. Along until it blends. Okay. And I'm actually pretty happy with that. So I'm going to adjust the camera a little bit, see if you guys can get a little bit better view. Move the lights maybe. But that's kind of what I'm going to go for. It's a soft look that adds a little bit of brightness to my eyes. Now I'm going to take the same brush, I'm going to remove the color, and I'm going to go back to our original nude that we had at the beginning, this one here. And I'm just going to pat some across the actual lid to kind of bring it back forward, because the other color kind of gets on top and then it kind of drops back. And this just brings it back forward for me. Like, I'm sure some makeup gurus out there are telling you that something different, and they're probably right, but this is what works for me. Now I'm going to take my liner brush. I have a nice thin angled liner brush, not too bold, and I'm going to take my green again, and I'm going to take a little dab of that, and I'm just going to put it on the outer corner of my eye, not all the way in, because I don't want to close my eyes back up, but I want to kind of keep them looking wide. So I'm going to just do a little bit on this outer corner, only about maybe a third or a quarter of the eye, so it's not like a real, and then I kind of work this out till it touches where I have the top. And that's good. Do the other side, same way. Just kind of patting it. Okay. So you can see I did just a little bit on the under eye, not a whole lot, just enough that you can kind of brings the color from the side so that it's blended together. I'm kind of more or less happy with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this extra fluffy blending brush, which is a nice large size, and I'm going to kind of blend all the colors out with just a nice soft stroke over the top. It kind of gives everything a finished, like there's no division in colors. They kind of all come together this way for me, and I like it. Because I don't like dramatic lines between my colors. Some people do, and you know, that's all cool, and I admire those people. I just am not that person. So then once I get that the way I like it, we're gonna go to some eyeliner. I have this brown here. I'm gonna go with that. Could do black, but I'm actually going to stick with brown. This is a dark brown pencil, so it's going to be a little bit... I don't want to line all the way across the top of my eyelid because of my hooded eyes. It will just close them back down. So I'm just going to line a little bit on the outer corner, on the top and on the bottom. And I don't mind using the brown instead of a black because it's less harsh and it tends to add more balance with my colors because of my natural skin tone. And so I'm just doing a little bit on the outer corner. And in about a third of the way on top. And just a tiny bit on the watermark here. And then I kind of work in a little bit of a wing, but not a full wing. Because with the way my eyes droop over here, if I try and do a full wing, it accentuates that drop, and I don't want to accentuate that. I just want to make my eyes look a little bit more almond shaped. So I'm just doing just a little bit. Only a tiny little bit. Okay, guys. Now... fill in the corner a little bit here, just so that it kind of looks like almost a wing. Okay, that is that. Now I'm pretty happy with what that came out as, and it does look a little bit bold when you close your eyes and you can see the lids. But once the eyes are open, it just draws more attention to the eye without looking too bold. So next I'm going to throw on some mascara, which apparently is not where it was. Okay. And I'm just going to do a little dash of this. This is the Lancome Definicils. I like it because it looks like a natural lash finish. It doesn't have any volumizers, any lengtheners. It's just very basic. Couple of quick strokes. Other side. And I always do my bottom lashes too, because it frames the eyes, I think, a little bit more and makes my eyes look a little taller, a little brighter. So I'm just gonna kind of okay, so that now I do my foundation after my eyes, which is backwards from a lot of people. It's because sometimes with powder eyeshadows I get fallout, and I don't want that to undo all the foundation I've done. So I do it after, which if I have a lot of fallout, I can take a cleansing wipe and kind of clean that up. Today I don't have a lot of fallouts, which is great. I'd much prefer not to. So I'm going to take my foundation. This is my Tint Miracle. I've had this bottle so long that the label's rubbing off on me. And I'm just going to pump a couple pumps if it'll come out. It's almost gone, which is kind of a bummer because it's my favorite and they don't make it anymore. And it doesn't want to come out, so we're going to go to the BB cream. Since it doesn't want to come out, we will use BB cream today. And this one is, what's it? I think it's called Light Medium. And I just take and put a dab of it on my hand. Because I don't like to have a very thick look with my foundation. I want it to be kind of almost sheer. So then I take a stippling brush. This is kind of what they call a stippling brush. It's got the little pointy ends on it. And I get it in there. And then I just kind of pat it all around. And you can see I'm leaving dots of foundation. And once I get those dots kind of covered everywhere, I start to just gently swirl so that the brush is just barely touching the skin, and that kind of blends the dots out. And I go along the top of the eyebrows there and down the cheeks. And with foundation, I've always been taught you go up and out, up and out, up and out, because it lifts your face. I don't know if that's 100% correct, but I try to work up and out, up and out. Once I get the base layer down, try to get my nose. I especially hate the creases around my nose. Because I have redness on my chin all the time, I usually put an extra little dab along that part just to get rid of that redness. And I try to work it into the creases around my nose because I get redness right in there. But I want it to go so light and sheer that it really doesn't look like I have foundation on. But it evens out the skin tone so that those redness areas that I don't like kind of go away. And then I'm gonna go with some highlighter. So I have a highlighter brush here, just regular fluffy fan brush. And then I'm gonna use my Iconic London palette in Blaze Chaser. And there's a beautiful kind of a soft nude highlighter here. I'm just gonna pick some of that up on my brush. And I'm going to highlight the center of my nose down. And I'm going to highlight the top of the cheekbones out. I'm like queen of highlighters, so I don't do a lot of highlighting. And then after I'm done here, I just kind of work it up and out, up and out, up and out. And that kind of creates enough highlights for my face shape without contouring. Because I don't know how to contour, guys. To kind of give it a nice subtle glow and looks lifted, then I'm going to take my blush brush, nice medium brown, and I'm actually going to grab this beautiful bright peach, swirl it, tap it, and then I'm going to start actually right back here along my brow, my cheekbone, and I swirl forward toward the atoms of my cheek, but on the lower edge of the bone, just to kind of give a little bit of color, a little bit of depth, not too much because I'm going for subtle. When I do dramatic eyes, I try to keep the rest of my face very subtle because I want the eyes to pop out and everything else to just kind of frame it, show it off. Now I got that kind of where I like it. And that also helps kind of show off the cheekbones without contouring. Because I don't know how to contour, guys. I'm sure I will eventually find some great ideas on contouring that will work for me, but so far I have not. I'm actually going to put some moisturizer on my lips, and then I'm going to pick out a nice nude color to draw on my lips up. My lips are really chapped, so I'm not really wanting to do a creamy deep lip color because that's going to show more of the cracking and stuff. So I'm probably going to stick with a gloss today. We're going to grab one out of the drawer here. Let's go with, we're going to go with this like Iconic London kind of peachy. It's a little bit lighter than my natural nude lips, so it's actually probably going to make my lips blend more to my skin tone rather than standing out. But with my lips being chapped, that's probably going to be a better way to go than trying to make my lips look bold today. And this lip gloss has a plumper in it, so my lips are going to look a little more pouty. But not necessarily boldly colored, which is again going to make the eyes stand out even more. So that's the makeup we're going to go for today. Now I'm going to change into my outfit and we're going to figure out something to do with this hair. Other than it's gray, which is really depressing. I should probably color it. But that's just so much work sometimes. Alright guys, thank you for sitting in with me today on my birthday. I'll be back with the finished look for you in just a few minutes. Thank you. Alright guys, I'm back with my finished birthday look. I'm going to stand up and kind of move away from the camera so you can see the whole outfit. I have a small office, so I have to make do with my chair. Seems my camera's not angled quite the right side of the room here, so we're going to move it a little more. There we go. Alright guys, so I'm doing my boots. My pencil skirt, it's actually a bodycon dress, and then my crop top over. And this is my glamorous birthday look. So once I got this red sweater on, I realized the nude lips look a little bit gone. So I'm going to actually pop a little bit of red lip liner just to bring my lips back, because I want to have lips. So I'm going to pop a little red lip liner on there and then we'll be good to go. Alright guys, so a little bit of red lips just to finish everything off. I think that my lips are now the statement piece versus my eyes, but with this red sweater, the red lips really make the whole thing kind of pop. So thank you guys so much for joining me for my birthday. Hope you love my outfit. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you guys feel a little bit inspired. Plus size can be cute when we try. And sometimes even when we're not trying. Alright guys, thank you so much. If you like my video, remember to hit like. If you want to follow me on my journey, go ahead and hit subscribe. We are having fun after 40 this year. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day.